This crash is not over, and here is why. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name's Neil, keeping technical analysis short and sweet, and we are looking at Bitcoin. The title is just to make you click on the video, but anything can happen in the market. So I have a hammer here, right around 108,000, which is the previous high. 200 EMA is here. We could be potentially pushing all the way down to $100,000. It's not very likely, but it is a possibility. So we do see that major retracement back to the 1. We may get some support, an immediate push back up, or we may be pushing back down towards this previous all-time high where there's a lot of support, as well as the 200 EMA coming up, volume trying to pick up. And yeah, that's it for Bitcoin. I missed a few on the previous video, so I'm going to sneak them into this one. BNT, DNT, and GRT, ANT, still looking phenomenal, holding very well above that downward trend line as well as the upward trend line. We may see a little bit more consolidation before pushing back up. If Bitcoin continues to drop, it kind of goes both ways. Money could be flowing from Bitcoin to Ethereum, Ethereum to altcoins, but it could potentially be pushing these even lower, most likely holding above this 0.5 on the Fibonacci. However, it is looking like it is trying to consolidate in a bull flag within this area and start the push up to $1. If you haven't entered BNT, keep an eye on it, as you may have a potential entry here very, very soon. None of it's financial advice. DNT, still scalping money like every day. Look at this. 5 to 8% in one day, 4%, but previously 8 to 24 to 22. I mean, there's a lot of percentage within DNT. Once this breaks over that 200 EMA, however, it has a lot of potential to start shooting upwards. Zooming out into the bigger chart, we can see that it's had some major potential moves to the upside. 19 cents, almost 20 cents, and currently at almost 3 cents. So just to get to that previous high, it can happen within a few weeks, as we've seen here, and its all-time high is all the way up at 25 cents. So keep DNT in mind. It's at an absolute low. It's trying to break that 200 EMA. It's looking very, very good as well. GRT, breaking the upward trend line, but trying to hold support roughly around the 618. If Bitcoin pushes lower, we may see this push lower to the 0.08 for graph, but we just mainly need to hold it above this area around 0.7 cents, and we can start seeing the accumulation upward for GRT. Getting into Floki. Do Floki, we'll skip near, it looks good. I'll bring it up anyways. So we got this being the support at 0.000094, more or less. What is that? 4 zeros and a 9. And we are getting a break of this upward trend line. We could readjust this so it's a little bit more even, but ultimately this is the trend line that we need to be staying above right here. So somewhere it could retrace as far as 0.4 zeros and an 8, and then start getting that support to hold above that 200 EMA as it pulled it back down to respect the 200 EMA and consolidate right around this area. We may hold this as support and push up as well, but just keep in mind the pullback is a possibility if Bitcoin starts to pull back. XYO, my God. XYO has been in consolidation for a ridiculous amount of time. But we are getting higher lows. As long as we hold above this line, it's still looking very bullish. Even with Bitcoin tanking and all the other cryptos tanking, this one still seems to maintain its potential to hold that support and still try and test this 200 EMA. Once we push up into this fair value gap above that 200 EMA and this downward trend line, all that's green signals for me. And then we can expect that push upwards towards this area around 0.017. It may not seem like much, but if you were to enter right whenever that breaks, that's around 50% increase. If you have $100, you got 150. So just keeping that in mind. XYO's definitely got some major potential, and it skyrockets very, very quickly, as we've seen back here on the 2nd of December of 2024. I'm going to try and bust a few more out real quick. XRP, constant consolidation. I have these orange lines here showing that there's important information, and we see the important information was definitely bearish. Into the CM guppy, getting close to the 200 EMA, which is actually making this very, very healthy. The 618 is here at 2.64. If it does break that trend line, if that does hold, we could be pushing towards this downward trend line, and the 200 EMA getting closer and closer. Similar formation with XLM. Don't freak out. Just keep stacking your bags of XLM and XRP, because those are going to be some big ones here in the future. They go hand in hand. If you have XRP, you should have XLM. Spell, trying to build some support on this upward trend line. Ultimately, for me, before entering, I want to see a break over this 200 EMA and this downward trend line before any further input on Spell, because this is pretty much the important zone right here. That is a pretty big push up. That is about 18%, but that can happen in a day, as we've seen it happen back here on the 6th. And getting up even 25% from here, I would be okay with entering above this downward trend line, as we see when it held above the 200 EMA for the second touch here, and a major push and held support as well. LCX is actually one of the best looking ones for today. LCX is holding indecision on top of the 200 EMA, high volume. If we bring in the RSI, we can see that it is a little overbought, but we'll most likely see a little bit of consolidation. It is still possible to touch this 11.3 cent area, but holding above the 200 EMA is really what we're looking to see. If we pull up the CM guppy, we just need to be holding above that strongly, high volume, and we could see a potential push up towards the 618. I believe is going to be right around here, right in the 26 cent area. Yeah, 26, 27 cents. That's where we could be pushing if LCX holds above the 200 EMA. And lastly, I'll do XDC, Hbar. Just stack your Hbar like XRP and XLM. And XDC doing exactly as we expected, pushing back towards the 200 EMA, starting to get a little bit of support, volume picking up. Now is getting a better time to enter, not exactly the perfect time, as we could be pushing a little lower towards this 618 around 0.07 cents before pushing back up. That's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you want. References in the description below. Good luck. Have fun with it. I will see you on the next one.